Welcome back to our IGCSE Biology Revision Series. Today we are diving into Chapter 9, Transport in Animals. Ever wondered how oxygen from your lungs reaches your toes? Or how your nutrients from your lunch gets to every cell of your body? And that's exactly what we are exploring today. By the end of this video, you will understand the incredible circulatory system that keeps multicellular organisms alive. Let's get started. First up, let's define what a circulatory system actually is. A circulatory system is a system of blood vessels with a pump, the heart, and valves that ensure one-way flow of blood throughout the body. Simple, right? But not all circulatory systems are created equal. Animals have evolved two main types of circulatory system. Let's compare them. The first one is the single circulatory system, and the second one is the double circulatory system. Let's deal with the single circulatory system of fish here. In fish, blood passes through the heart only once during each complete circuit of the body. Here's the pathway. It starts from the heart, moves to the gills where it picks up the oxygen, and then the blood transports the oxygen and nutrients throughout the body, and then it comes back to the heart. There are just two chambers in the heart, one atrium and one ventricle, and that's it. Having talked about the single circulatory system of fish, we need to know the double circulatory system of mammals. In mammals like us, blood passes through the heart twice in one complete circuit. We have two separate loops, the pulmonary circulation and the systemic circulation. The pulmonary circulation goes from the right hand side of the heart to the lungs and then back to the left hand side of the heart. The systemic circulation, on the other hand, starts from the left hand side of the heart, goes throughout the body to deliver oxygen and nutrients, and come back to the right hand side of the heart. Why is double circulation advantageous? Think about this. When blood travels through tiny capillaries in the lungs, it loses a lot of pressure. In single circulation, blood goes straight from the gills to the body at this low pressure. But in double circulation, the blood returns to the heart after the lungs, where pressure is boosted again before being sent to the body. This means oxygen and glucose can be delivered to respiring cells faster and more frequently, perfect for active warm-blooded animals. Now, let's zoom into the powerhouse of the circulatory system, the heart. The mammalian heart has four chambers and several key structures you need to know. Some of them are the muscular wall, which is made of cardiac muscle that contracts and relaxes continuously throughout life. The heart has a section called septum, which is the wall that separates the left and right sides, keeping oxygenated and deoxygenated blood separate. We have the left and right atria, the upper chambers that receive the blood, and the left and right ventricles, the lower chambers that pump blood out. We have the valves, which ensure one-way flow of the blood, mainly found in veins, and the coronary arteries that supply the heart muscle itself with oxygenated blood. Let's explore the pathway the blood takes through the heart, starting from the deoxygenated blood from the body, which enters via the vena cava into the right atrium. The blood then flows through the atrioventricular valve into the right ventricle, and the right ventricle contracts, pushing blood through the semilunar valve into the pulmonary artery. Blood then travels to the lungs where it picks up the oxygen. Oxygenated blood returns via the pulmonary vein into the left atrium. The blood flows through the atrioventricular valve into the left ventricle. The left ventricle contracts powerfully, pushing blood through the semilunar valve into the aorta. Blood is then distributed throughout the body via arteries. The valves are crucial here. They prevent the backflow. When ventricles contract, the atrioventricular valves close to stop the blood flowing back to the atria. The semilunar valves then open to allow blood into the arteries. When ventricles relax, semilunar valves close to prevent backflow from arteries. Now I will be discussing some key structures of the heart. The ventricle walls are thicker than the atrium walls. Why? Because atria only needs to push the blood into the ventricles below, but ventricles must pump blood out of the heart. The ventricles do the heavy lifting. The left ventricle wall is thicker than the right. And why? Simple. The right ventricle only pumps the blood to the nearby lungs, which is located near the heart. But the left ventricle must pump the blood to the entire body. More distance equals more muscular force needed. A key concept to remember is monitoring the heart activity. The heart's activity can be monitored in three ways, either using an ECG, also known as the electrocardiogram, which records electrical activity, the pulse rate, feeling the surge of blood in arteries, and listening to valve sounds using a stethoscope. Physical activity increases heart rate because exercising muscles need more oxygen for respiration. You can view the use of stethoscope in the next slide. Next up, we have the coronary heart disease. Coronary heart disease occurs when the coronary arteries becomes blocked or narrowed, usually by fat deposits. This reduces blood flow to heart muscle. Consequences include angina, which is chest pain, heart attacks, and potential heart failure. Risk factors include poor diet, smoking, lack of exercise, high blood pressure, and genetic predisposition. Now let's explore the three different types of blood vessels. Blood travels through three main types of these vessels: arteries, veins, and capillaries. Each has a unique structure matched to its function. First up, we have the arteries. Their function is to carry blood away from the heart to all the other parts of the body. The key features are they have a thick muscular walls to withstand the high pressure. They have thick elastic walls that can stretch and recoil, a small lumen, and no valves needed. And why this structure? Because blood leaves the heart under very high pressure from ventricular contractions, so arteries must be strong and elastic. Next up, we have the veins. The function of veins are to carry blood towards the heart. They have thin walls with less muscle and elastic tissue. They have a large lumen and contains valves to prevent backflow of blood. Why this structure? Because blood pressure here is low by the time it reaches them. Thin walls are sufficient, and valves are essential because low pressure means blood can flow backwards, especially in legs where it's moving against gravity. Movement is assisted by surrounding skeletal muscles, squeezing the veins and pushing blood along. One-way valves ensure it flows towards the heart. Last up, we have the capillaries. The function of capillaries is to exchange of materials between blood and tissues, like nutrients and oxygen. They have walls, only one cell thick, a very small diameter or narrow lumen, and have permeable with gaps, form extensive networks throughout the tissues. And why the structure? The thin walls allow for more efficient diffusion of oxygen, glucose, and other nutrients out of the blood into the tissues, and waste products like carbon dioxide back into the blood. Short diffusion distance is key. You can view all the key features we discussed here of the blood vessels in the next slide. Now let's explore the blood itself. Blood isn't just a simple red liquid. It's a complex tissue with multiple components, each with specific functions. First up, we have the plasma, which covers 55% of the blood. This is the liquid component of the blood. It has a pale yellow fluid that transports dissolved nutrients like glucose, amino acids, and minerals, carbon dioxide from respiring tissue to the lungs, urea from the liver to the kidneys for excretion, hormones from endocrine glands to target organs, heat energy for temperature regulation, antibodies and antitoxins, fibrinogen for blood clotting. Next up, we have the red blood cells, also known as erythrocytes. The structure and adaptations of red blood cells are very unique. As we saw in chapter 2, they have a biconcave disc shape, which increases surface area for efficient oxygen absorption and release. They have no nucleus, so more space for hemoglobin. They are packed with hemoglobin, a red pigment containing iron that binds to oxygen. The function of red blood cells is to transport oxygen from lungs to all the respiring tissues. Hemoglobin combines with the oxygen in the lungs to form oxyhemoglobin, then releases the oxygen in tissues where it's needed. Next up, we have the white blood cells, also known as leukocytes. They have a very specific structure also. They have a nucleus, often large and lobed. They can change shape and move around. They can squeeze through capillary walls. They are much less numerous than the red blood cells. The functions include phagocytosis. Some white blood cells engulf and destroy the pathogens by surrounding them and digesting them. Next is the antibody production, where lymphocytes produce these specific antibodies that bind to antigens on pathogens, marking them for destruction. Lastly, it's the antitoxin production, where it neutralizes toxin produced by bacteria. We will explore about white blood cells in detail in chapter 10. Next up, we have the platelets. These are small cell fragments without a nucleus. These are essential for blood clotting. You can view a summary of these important components of blood in the next slide. As we discussed about platelets and their importance for blood clotting, let's look at the blood clotting process. When a blood vessel is damaged, platelets arrive at the wound site and stick to the damaged vessel wall, preventing immediate blood loss. The platelets come together, plugging the cut. Platelets and damaged tissue release the chemicals. These chemicals cause fibrinogen, a soluble plasma protein, to convert into fibrin, insoluble protein fibers. Fibrin forms a mesh network around the wound, and more platelets and blood cells get trapped in the mesh. This forms a clot, which dries into a scab. Why is this important? Essentially, it prevents excessive blood loss and prevents entry of pathogens through the wound and allows time for tissue repair. And that's Chapter 9, Transport in Animals. We have covered circulatory systems, the mammalian heart structure and function, blood vessels and their adaptations, blood components and their roles, the lymphatic system, and how it all works together. Remember, the circulatory system is all about efficient transport, getting oxygen and nutrients to cells and removing waste products away from cells as quickly as possible. The double circulation system, four-chambered heart, specialized blood vessels, and multiple blood components all work together to achieve this. Make sure you practice drawing and labeling the heart, understand the pathway of blood flow, and can explain how structure relates to function for all components. In the next slide, you can see some practice questions which you can use to test your own understanding of this chapter. If you found this lesson helpful, be sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next chapter in our Examify IGCSE Biology Revision Series. You can also join our free WhatsApp community for live sessions and updates. The link's in the description below. And if you want to level up your revision, check out our Examify mock papers and topical revision packs designed to help you study smart and score higher. See you soon in the next video.